What's up, everyone, and welcome to Beer Breakdown, where we dig into the stories behind some of our favorite LA beers with the brewers that brew them. And today I'm joined by El Segundo Brewing Company partner, VP of Sales, Tom Kelley. Welcome to the show, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you having me on.
For anyone that doesn't know El Segundo Brewing Company, if you're drinking craft beer in Los Angeles, I hope that you already know. But for anyone that doesn't, who is El Segundo Brewing Company? Like, what are you guys all about?
We're staunchly independent. We have been since the beginning. It started by Rob Kroxel, his friends. He brought me on as an early equity partner to do sales and be his market guy. And he started on a shoestring. You know, it was a real passion project. Rob was the aerospace guy and the finance guy who is extremely great at Excel. And that has certainly been a huge tool for us.
Sure.
But he was a home brewer for 10 plus years, and he wanted to make the move, and he just swung, I think, really right at that right time, right as the wave was breaking, and LA figured out that beer was a thing that you could buy from, you know, your local pub, and so that plus just the love of hoppy beer and getting after super fresh hoppy beer was the founding of El Segundo, and we really stuck to that principle of just like super fresh West Coast IPAs. And we've dabbled with hazies and stuff, but really we've stayed true to just beer that, you know, classic styles, beer that tastes like beer. And we really took that to the max with our day one releases, where we would package and ship same day, and got a lot of notoriety out of that as well.
For anyone that doesn't know, day one, it's packaging early, 3, 4, like super early in the morning, right?
We started around 3 in the morning, yeah.
And then, you know, on the trucks and to all the accounts by like, you know, late morning.
We would do same day to Ventura, Santa Barbara sometimes, and then all the way down to San Diego as well. It was madness, but it was a lot of fun, and we got pretty darn good at it. Yeah, I don't know what the future of that is now with Craft LA. I mean, obviously the pandemic is a whole nother curveball, but with the distributor it makes it a little more challenging. We've been doing, what do we call it? Day one direct something. We're doing it where we're canning now, so we'll can on like Wednesday, and we'll ship it on Thursday, and it's at your door on Friday. Anywhere in the state of California for $20 for the
yeah,
for shipping.
That's
just pretty sweet. I'm not calling day one dead yet.
Broken Skull. So that's been such a big part of El Segundo's story over the past couple of years. You're like, what is that beer and the collaboration, and where did it go and where is it now?
Broken Skull, you know, it's a saga because that beer, I think we first brewed it in 2014, 15. And, you know, we were a tiny little brewery. Like when Steve first came, it was a friend of a friend introduction kind of thing. We learned that Steve Austin really liked our beer and was interested in brewing with us. And would we be interested? And we're like, hell yeah.
And I guess for anyone that hasn't followed along this point, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin, the wrestling character. And
yes, he came down to drink with us and tell us about the project and what he was thinking about. And, you know, we tasted through about like 10 IPAs. And the way he talked about IPA, we're like, this guy knows his stuff, man. Like he didn't have all the words, but like you could tell, like, oh, he's looking at the right things. He's talking the right way. He knows exactly what he wants. And so we really tailored the recipe to what Steve wanted in an IPA. So when he says it's the best damn IPA in America, he genuinely believes that because we literally made it for Steve. Like he's right. Like, I like this one, but not this. I like this one, but not this. I like this one, but not this. I'm like, okay, we can put that all together. Anyway, we released it back in 2014 in the 22-ounce bombers. We weren't capable of putting it in cans. Mm-hmm. And we didn't really have the capacity to ever meet the demand was out there. So, you know, we said from the get-go with Steve, we're like, bro, like, you should be talking to like a nationally distributed brand, not us. Like we're a self-distributed brand in Southern California. We just never would be even close. And so it had its time in the spotlight, and like everything in the beer industry, there's a limited amount of time that things are super exciting and hot, and it kind of faded like most of us. It lasted a little longer than a normal release, and there was still demand everywhere, but we weren't shipping it out of California. So, and then last July 2019, he got on Monday Night Raw and sent us a note saying that he needed like a couple cases of cans And so we got him a couple cases. The world exploded on Broken Skull. I mean, I was actually in the South Pacific when I got back from being out of service, and they're like, I was like, what happened? Like, they're like, we're filling all the tanks with Broken Skull. And I was like, what? Started with what we thought was going to be a few pallets to New York, and ended up being 2 truckloads. And it just hasn't slowed down. I mean, it's been an absolute monster since then. The beer itself is Citra Cascade Chinook. It's fastball down the middle, honestly. We love that beer. It's 6.7%, semi-low bitterness.
Yes, that beer's in what, like 15 states now, something like that? 10?
We're getting around. We're brewing the East Coast beer out of New Realm, which is Mitch Steele of Stone fame. We didn't really get into it with a long-term plan. It was like, the people want Broken Skull, so let's figure out how to get them Broken Skull. We got a small team doing it, so it's right. But it's been a fun ride for sure.
So let's kind of transition over into the beer that we're talking about today. So what we have here is the 105 IPA. And Tom, why don't you tell me a little bit about this beer?
Yeah, so 105, we've been brewing for I think like 4 years, and it's part of our rotational IPA series that we've been doing forever. We got our full-time lineup, that Citra, Mayberry, Hammerland, that we have all the time, but we've always got a new IPA out, something that's coming every month or two. 105 has always been an Idaho 7 beer, so that was a fun hop that we started playing around with. And it is 100% bursted. There's no early kettle additions in this beer. Especially at the time, was a bit of a departure for us. But yeah, so it's 100% bursted, meaning we don't add hops until the 5-minute edition, so 5 minutes left in the boil. So you're not going to get a lot of isomerization. And what we found with that technique is you get like a softer bitterness rather than it being so sharp and quick. It's a little more rounded. There's still a lot of IBUs there, but it doesn't quite come across the same way, and maybe not as aspirin-y, pilly as bitterness can sometimes be. And so this was the first beer that we really started exploring that in a big way. I think it works great. It gives it a fuller flavor for sure, a lot more hop on the palate than dry hopping alone. The Whirlpool is Cascade, Mosaic, Idaho, and then dry hop is Idaho, Mosaic, Cascade, but like 3-1 Idaho. So
yeah.
Aggressively Idaho has always been like berries, a little bit of tropical, but like resinous and piney kind of thing for me. So Mosaic is a good companion hop for sure, because it has kind of similar flavors. I feel like helps support it and give it a little bit more of a tropical edge.
The 105, for anyone that doesn't know, that's the freeway leading into El Segundo, right?
That's right. Yep. As you're driving from Norwalk or whatever all the way to the coast, it's like you're always driving at El Segundo. These are landmarks associated with El Segundo, which, Rob is 3 generations El Segundo. I joke with him he's going to be mayor one day, and he's like, I don't want that job, basically. I'm like, yeah, but you're going to be mayor one day. Like, everybody in town knows Rob, and knows the whole city council, which is, obviously helpful. And
yeah,
he just loves El Segundo, quite honestly. Like, he loves his town. And
cool, man. Well, I think I'm ready to crack this beer open. So first thing I just want to remark on is the color. Just crystal fucking clear and just bright gold. Really nice. And it's not light gold, it's not dark gold. It's like right there in the middle. Just a perfect shade of gold. Really like that a lot.
I'm going to get rid of my virtual background so we can do this together.
Yeah.
Get rid of the illusion. Sorry, guys. I'm just in my garage. Yeah, it's got a great color. It's all 2-row, a little bit of dextro pills, and it looks like 1% of C15. So there is a little bit of crystal malt in there.
And then take me through the nose a little bit, if you can get some there.
The first thing that I get is kind of that like berries, fruity pebbles kind of thing.
I think the like the fruit cereal is a good one, because you do get like a little bit of that like cereal malt sweetness too.
Yeah, for sure. And that's something you want to be there for sure. Blueberries, raspberries kind of thing. As it warms up, it starts to get a little more tropical. I don't pull the pine and the resin as much off the aroma. Red grapefruit pith.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting citrus here.
which is, kind of omnipresent, I feel like, in Pacific Northwest hops.
Yeah, great nose. Really introduces you into what you're about to taste. That's a very delicious beer. Super dry. The bitterness is what is perfect on this. Like you said, it's not overly bitter because you don't have that 60-minute kettle edition. So, but it's not gone. There's a nice bitter backbone there.
Yeah, I think bitterness as a foil is important. I think it leaves you wanting for more of the beer. It brings you back.
What are you getting on the palate?
Mostly I get the first thing is pine and resin, honestly. The fruit is there. There's a little melon, peachy melon kind of thing going on. But I think what dominates is the pine and resin, blueberry muffin kind of mid to late finish that just kind of hangs out, which I think is very pleasant as well. And I think marries well with that pine and resin, which isn't beating you over the head with tar, but it's certainly a big piece of the hop character.
Yeah, it's definitely resiny, little herbal. I think I would say there's a little kind of herbaceousness to it.
For sure, yeah. I mean, it's thyme or a little green onion kind of thing going on, which I think people talk about onion garlic always being a bad thing in hops, and I don't know that I 100% agree.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, it's all about balance. So, I mean, if all you had was OG, then it's maybe it's not that great. But if you combine it with the piney resinous, if you combine it with some of that berry tropicalness too, it takes it from a very kind of full palate experience where you get a little bit of the sweetness, you get a little bit of the bitterness, that tingly tongue thing going on. That's there for me. So it's really kind of all over. It gives you a little bit of everything. So it's not just sharp in one direction. Yeah, 7.1% here. So very kind of right there in the middle of where you want a West Coast IPA to be. Really good stuff. Cool, man. Well, that's 105. If you guys want to get your hands on it, which, yes, you should. If you like West Coast IPAs, if you like El Segundo, you're gonna like this beer. Look out for it at your local bottle shop. Look out for it at your local beer retailer. But honestly, I think the best place to go to get this beer is straight to El Segundo. Pick up some beer from El Segundo. The Slice Pint also is open for business. Pick up some pizza.
Beer all in one shot. It's worth the drive, and there's no traffic.
It's a beautiful thing. You can get around LA so quickly. But if you're not into getting in your car, El Segundo is shipping beers to your home throughout California, right?
That's right. Yep. Direct to your door overnight.
Yeah. So it doesn't get much better than that. Pick up the 105. It's a great beer, but really any El Segundo beers. Tom, thank you so much for joining me. It's been enlightening. It's been delicious. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Gary. This has been great. Thanks for having me.
Cool, man. Talk to you later.
Cheers.